What's up, guys? Welcome to my podcast. We got Kevin over here today. What's up, Kevin?
How you doing?
Good. The weekend's not here yet. Any plans for the weekend?
No, but hopefully the Heat win, and
I know they've been doing pretty good.
yeah, so
I know Lakers too, though.
we can close it out tonight. So.
And then the hockey too. They did pretty good.
Yeah, both the Panthers and the Heat can close.
What's up with
tonight.
our fans, though? Our fans.
The Heat
I
fans?
show that they don't, just in general, like our fans, they don't show some love.
Yeah, I mean, driving to downtown Miami.
I know. The traffic.
They gotta bring it more like central, like more Broward.
That's true.
You know.
But then everything would be in Broward then. And then it becomes Miami.
It could be the Broward Heat.
All right. So I hear we have a couple of questions that people have asked, and we want to go ahead and address it and kind of talk about those questions that are out there.
Yeah.
So what you got, Kevin?
So we got some questions from just some people, messaging you.
Yeah.
So the first one would be they asked, do biweekly payments help when you're paying your mortgage? So rather than paying monthly, if you pay biweekly, does that benefit you?
Yeah. So setting up a biweekly payment plan, it's paying half of your check that you receive. There's 3 ways of doing this, right? You could either go ahead and set up a biweekly where if you get paid every 2 weeks, half of your monthly mortgage payment comes out one day and then half of your monthly mortgage payment comes out the other day. Like this, what happens is you get one step ahead to making 13 payments in a year versus 12 payments in a year. Okay. Now, some people can afford to do that. Some people cannot. If you can afford to do that, that's one way of setting up your monthly payment drafts for your mortgage so you can knock it off early. Or if you receive a income tax refund, something like that, you can always send in extra money towards the principal. As long as you make one monthly extra mortgage payment a year, you knock off about 4 to 6 years of your mortgage.
Okay.
From 30 years.
One extra payment per year.
A full extra payment a year, you knock off at least 4 to 6 years off of your monthly mortgage.
Gotcha.
Off of your 30-year mortgage. So that helps out a lot.
And to the point of making it bi-weekly, it would be that because it would be 13 payments because you're 52, 26, right?
Correct. Exactly.
You're making 26 payments rather than 24.
Correct. And also another way of doing this too is get your monthly mortgage payment. That means your principal and interest, taxes and insurance, mortgage insurance if you have any. That's your full monthly mortgage payment. Divide that into 12, which can be, let's say, $100 or $200, and send that in every month extra towards principal. Okay. What happens is, so that goes back into interest rate, right? Well, I want a 6% or instead of a 6.5%, let's say, right? That's a $33 or $38 difference in a monthly mortgage payment. Now, sometimes it may cost a lot more to get a half a point of an interest rate, right? Mm-hmm. So you might as well just get the higher rate, pay the extra $38 a month towards your principal. Your interest is still gonna be based on the principal balance, anyways.
Right.
So putting extra towards principal every month helps out, regardless in cutting down your mortgage term and actually cutting down the rate on your principal every month as well.
And I think that's something also that people maybe don't understand the concept of too much. Because I remember working at the bank, people would send in a payment, but they'd put extra money into their regular payment, right? And you're not putting any extra, you're paying your interest basically at that point.
Right.
So you have to specify with the bank, all right, here's my mortgage payment. This is $100, whatever you said, $100, $200, whatever that divided by 12. This is going to I want this to go towards my principal balance. You have to specify that when you pay it to the bank.
Super important. Very good point. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, you have to address it. Make sure you put it towards principal or towards escrow, but always mostly towards principal. you're right. Why would you want to be paying extra interest, right?
Right.
So you're going to always address it towards principal every time you make an extra payment. If you have money coming in from income tax and you're like, well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and put in $5,000 towards my principal. That goes into the last post that we posted was the recasting, right? The more money you're putting towards principal, you're able to recast your loan for them to go ahead and factor in the new monthly payment based on the new principal amount.
Right.
So yeah, biweekly is always good to have, and it does help you if you could afford it, do it. Okay. So yes, biweekly is super, super helpful, and it's very, very. For example, I had a client, she was so adamant about being stuck on one monthly mortgage payment because she says she has so much fear that if God forbid something happens that she could not make a monthly mortgage payment. But then she was just stuck on one number, right? Which is fine. I get it. And that's very important to have. But she also understood the fact that, okay, I'm going to go ahead and send in the purpose for her, which was very intelligent. Purpose of that was so that she could make biweekly payments and set that up so she could be able to knock off her mortgage faster. So if one day she doesn't get paid, she already has an extra month. If God forbid something happens, she can't make a monthly mortgage payment, she's already had one extra in there.
Right. So the number that she had in her head wasn't so much a monthly number, but a biweekly number.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So that helps out too, because then she's more like happy, or, whatever, you knock off your payment, so, but it's good. It's always good to have. It's super important.
Yeah. So next question will be, so if I have a car debt that has less than 12 months remaining on the loan, does that get factored into my monthly, debt to income?
Yeah. So on an FHA, I have a client that I'm working with right now, and there is a balance up to $1,500 on the car. Obviously, that's less than 12 months that's left due for him, his term.
Yeah.
But the monthly payment is $450.
Okay. It's significant.
Yeah, right? Well, I think nowadays it's pretty decent, but
I haven't had a car
but
so.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, not for about a year and a half. I don't know. I just remember paying it off, and I was like, whew.
I know, right? It's like a relief. So because he is under an FHA loan, and that monthly payment is more than 5% of his monthly income, it cannot be excluded.
Okay.
So if the monthly payment of that car debt that's less than 12 months left is higher than 5% of your monthly income, so which means if the car is $450, the income is around $7,500 a month, right? That's more than that $450 is more than 5% of the monthly income.
Right.
Okay. So no, we cannot exclude it. Now, if the car payment was $200 and some, yes, golden, we could be able to exclude it. So now what happens is now he has to pay that off. But being that luckily in his case, there's a balance of only like $1,500 on the monthly pay on the balance of the car. So he's going to be able to pay it off. But now he qualifies for the property because it's factoring $450 a month.
Right.
And that's 5% of his monthly income.
Okay, so it's not so much how much time you have left, but how high the payment is.
Correct. So yes, you can exclude it as long as the monthly payment of that debt does not exceed more than 5% of your monthly income.
Okay, got it. So that's pretty cut and dry.
Cut and dry, and that's FHA only though.
Okay, so that's for FHA loans, depending on the amount of your monthly payment.
Correct.
But to that point too, if you're less than 5% of your monthly income, but you have more than 12 months, it's still included.
Yeah.
So it's just, you got to be less than 12 months and less than 5%, and then it won't count towards your debt to income ratio.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. You got it. You got your mortgage license yet?
Not yet.
Almost.
Okay. So the next question, so if the appraisal value doesn't come in at the value that the house was agreed to be sold at, does the seller have to agree to bring down the price even though an offer was made?
Yeah, so this question is based off of actually a situation that we just had, right? So the couple decides to place an offer on a property. Let's say the property is $485,000. The seller is like, no, I am absolutely stuck. I'm selling this property for $485,000. Okay, so the buyer's like, okay, cool. If the value of the home, in this case, the seller kind of knew that the value was not going to come in at $485,000, right? So the buyers are like, okay, well, if the value of the home does come under, I'm still going to give you $5,000 over appraisal value.
Okay.
Written on contract. Okay. So if the value of the home comes, let's say, for $480,000, the bank is not going to lend you more than what the value of the home is.
Right.
So that means they were willing to come out of pocket $5,000 to accommodate her to meet that $485,000 price range.
Okay.
In this case, the property came in at $460,000. A huge chunk, $25,000 less.
Right.
Than what she's selling for.
And she's firm on $485,000.
She's firm. So even if the contract states, hey, I'm willing to give you $5,000 over appraisal value, the seller still needs to be certain, and seller still needs to come down on that price.
Okay. So now that the appraisal came in at $460,000, I'm assuming the buyer's saying, okay, well, we'll pay you $465,000.
Yeah.
And so does the seller have to agree?
Yes.
Now, because it's under contract. So now
correct.
She lost out on those extra $20,000.
Well, you would assume, so the seller does not have to agree.
Okay. Doesn't have to agree.
No. Even if it's under contract and it states it on there, now is when they both rebuttal, and then the seller has to say, okay, I agree to the value of how the bank came up with the appraisal of this property. I'm willing to go ahead, because now we need an addendum, which is an attachment to the contract that states the seller has agreed to lower their price.
Okay.
In this case, the seller did not agree.
Gotta upgrade that kitchen.
I know, right? Or be realistic expectations.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's
what's happening, right? The market's readjusting itself now. Right? People think, I'm going to sell this house for whatever thousand. But no, the market is readjusting itself. Does that mean it's coming down? No. But it just means that it's stopping inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in this case, unfortunately, because the sellers did not agree to it, they canceled the contract.
So the house is still on the market for $485,000. Mm-hmm. Won't take $1 less.
I know, right? Not $1 less. Like, what the heck? And then what happens is it's now... You would think, because there's an FHA appraisal that already was released, it's already tied to the property. So if they decide to go with another buyer and their FHA or whatever the case is, guess what? Hello, the appraisal's still there.
Yeah.
So it's so asinine. It's just like, come to a midpoint, agree to it. You know, you're selling a home. You already knew that the appraisal was not going to come in at value, what you're asking, which is unrealistic. Meet halfway. This poor couple was just like, they did get a dog out of it, though.
Oh.
They did get a dog out of it, though.
Do you want a dog or do you want a house?
But I'm happy for them. They were so cool, and I really appreciate them. They were so calm. And they're like, you know what? On to the next one. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So seller was difficult. But yes, the seller does have to agree to come down on the price, even if they have it on the contract, and even if the appraisal does come in less than asking.
Okay.
Yes. All right, guys. So we have more questions to answer. We're going to come back and answer more of those on the next episode. Thank you for joining my podcast. This is Sunny Fonseca with Mortgages with Sunny, and we have Kevin, as always. See you on the next one. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right.